Welcome class 7th to the third chapter of your syllabus, Kingdom Animalia. Kingdom Animalia is the last kingdom of R.H. Whittaker's classification, the fifth kingdom. It includes all the multicellular animals. The characteristic features of this kingdom are: the animals are multicellular, many-celled, they are non-green, don't have chlorophyll, cannot do photosynthesis. Eukaryotes, they have a well-developed nucleus with nuclear wall, nucleolus. They are heterotrophic as they don't have chlorophyll. They get their food from other living beings, whether plants or animals. Then these animals, they don't have cells with a cell wall. So their cell wall is absent and they have support in the form of hard framework which may lie inside the body or outside the body. If outside the body, it is called exoskeleton, and if inside the body, it is called endoskeleton. Then most of the animals show locomotion, means moving from one place to another place, and they do so in search of food, protection, reproduction, and many other basic necessities. Animals show limited growth. Unlike plants, their growth stops after certain years and they are said to attain maturity. Now the kingdom Animalia is classified into two broad groups, that is vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates, also called as chordata, have a backbone or vertebral column. Invertebrates are the lower animals which do not have a backbone or vertebral column. Now the various groups of invertebrates we will study first. The various phylum of invertebrates are Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminths, Nemathelminths, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, and Echinodermata. Porifera are pore-bearing animals. They have tiny pores all over their body, as most of them are aquatic. They live inside water, and through these pores they draw water inside, and whatever microscopic organisms are there, they filter and have it as their food, and the excess water is removed from an opening at the top of the body called as osculum. Most of them are marine creatures found in seas and oceans. Very few exist in fresh water. They are sedentary animals, means they remain attached to the bottom of sea or pond. Sponges are poriferans. Example, Cycon. Spongilla is a freshwater sponge. Then we have Cnidaria or coelentrates, hollow sac-like animals. They are also aquatic, mostly marine. They are either free floating or attached to sea bottom. Again, they are aquatic animals. Cnidarians have a large hollow body cavity called the colon, hence called as coelentrates. They have a radially symmetrical body, means you can divide their body along the 5 radii into many segments. They don't have pores all over the body, but they have only one opening, the mouth, at the top, surrounded by finger-like processes called tentacles, through which they catch their food. Examples are hydra, found in fresh water, jellyfishes, corals exist in sea water. The next phylum is Platyhelminths. Platy, the word means flat. So their body shape is flat, ribbon-like or leaf-like. They are bilaterally symmetrical. Their body can be divided only into two equal halves. Most of them don't have a body cavity, but many sections in their body are there, and they exist as parasites in the bodies of their host animals like tapeworm, liver fluke, etc. The next phylum is Nematoda, Aschelminths and Nemathelminths. They have long cylindrical but unsegmented body. Again bilaterally symmetrical. Since their body is long cylindrical, they are also called as round worms. They look like threads and exist as parasites inside the body of other host animals and a cause of many human diseases like Ascaris, the roundworm, hookworms, etc. Then we have the next phylum, Annelida. Annelida are round cylindrical but segmented worms with a bilateral symmetrically body. They have two openings, a mouth and an anus. They have special organs of excretion called nephridia and a proper body cavity with alimentary canal or digestive system. They have special locomotory structures called setae or parapodia, and they are very common like earthworms and leeches. The next phylum is Arthropoda, the biggest phylum in invertebrates or animals with jointed limbs. Their legs are paired and jointed, and the body is divided into three parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. They are divided further into four classes: crustaceans, where head and thorax are fused with many jointed legs. Examples: prawns, crabs. Insects or insecta, body properly divided into head, thorax, and abdomen with three pairs of legs and two pairs of wings. They can fly like cockroaches, houseflies, butterflies. Arachnida or arachnids with fused head and thorax and six pairs of outgrowths they have on their body, but only four pairs are walking legs. The rest may be antenna, the sensory structures like spiders, scorpion. Myriapods, the next order of Arthropoda, has a long worm-like body divided into many segments, maybe 100 to 150 or more than that, and each segment has one or two pairs of legs. Examples: centipede and millipede. The next phylum is Mollusca, the soft bodies animals. They are mostly aquatic and marine. Usually, their soft bodies are enclosed in a hard exoskeleton, and they have a muscular foot for locomotion. Example: octopus, snails, oysters. The last phylum of invertebrates is Echinodermata, the spiny skinned animals. They have a rough, spiny and mostly star-like or ball-like body. The exoskeleton is rough and spiny. They don't have a proper head or tail, but they have locomotory structures in the form of tube feet. They are found only in the seas and oceans, so they are only marine. Again, they have a radially symmetrical body, can be divided into many segments. Their examples are starfish, sea urchin. That's all for invertebrates. In the next session, we will talk about vertebrates. Thank you.